Well, welcome to my YouTube channel, you all. Welcome to my YouTube. If you do not know me, my name is Dwana, aka Dwana Loves Purity, or Dwana Harvey, whichever one you prefer. And today we're going to be talking about do not be discouraged by what you see, you all. Do not be discouraged by what you see. And this message is really important to me because I know how difficult it can be to be distracted by what you're seeing around you. However, I want to encourage you today that God sees what you're going through, God sees what you've been through, and God already has a solution for your problem. He already has an answer for your problem. And so today, you guys, I'm going to be talking about do not be discouraged by what you see, whether it is your job loss situation, whether it's a relationship problem that you're having, whether it is difficulty that you're having with your children behaving, whether it is whatever you're going through today. I don't know what your situation, if it's a sickness, if it's a doctor's report, you guys, I want to encourage you to do not be distracted by what you see. And I wanted to use for an example, you guys, the story of Joshua. If you guys know the story of Joshua, he was a very strong, powerful man in the Bible. And essentially, when he was instructed to walk around the walls 7 times. And as he was walking around the walls, I'm sure that nothing was happening for him in the natural. Nothing was happening. He probably felt discouraged the first time around, things weren't coming down. The second time around, things weren't changing in his life. The third time around, things weren't changing. And all the way up until that final 7th time when things finally changed. And likewise, you may be feeling like, you know what, Dwana, I've been praying. I prayed, all this month. I prayed all last year. I prayed all the year before last. And it still has not happened. But do not be discouraged by what you see, because you guys, as you're trusting God, as you're following his instructions, as you're doing what he's telling you to do, God is making a way for you. He is doing just what he was doing for Joshua. He couldn't see the walls weakening. He couldn't see the fact that on the 7th time that things were going to break and things were going to change for him. But Joshua chose to continue to walk around the wall. He chose to continue to believe God, to continue to believe that his steps were ordered by the Lord. And as a result, on that 7th time, the walls fell down. On that 7th time, Joshua experienced his breakthrough. On that 7th time, Joshua was able to walk into the blessing that had been already promised to him. And that's where so many of us are at right now. We're believing God for the blessing. We believe that he's capable of doing it, but because we don't see it happening yet, we're about ready to give up. We're about ready to give up on the promise of marriage. Hey, Tasha, thank you for joining. We're about ready to give up on the promise of marriage. We're ready to give up on, the job that God promised us. We're ready to give up on the entrepreneurial dream that he's promised us. We're ready to give up, but I want to encourage you today, you guys, to do not give up on what God has promised you or what God has told you. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11, I believe, it says that he makes all things beautiful in his time. And so that means in the perfect timing of the Lord, just like on the 7th time that Joshua walked around the walls of Jericho, things will begin to break in your life. Things will begin to happen in your life. You're going to experience what you've been praying for. So don't be discouraged by what you see. It may look as if the walls aren't falling. It may look as if nothing's happening. It may look as if everything that could be against you in this moment is against you, just like Joshua. Everything that could have been against Joshua was against him as he was walking around the walls. People were probably mocking him. People were probably laughing at him. People were probably saying, that'll never happen. You look so foolish. What are you doing? But I want you to keep on holding on to the dream and keep on holding on to the promise that God gave you. Because here's the one thing that's true, you guys, is that if God said it, that settles it. If he's already given you a word, that means that all you need to do is lay hold to that and hold on to it and trust and believe that he will bring it to pass. And so the Bible says in Hebrews 11 verse 1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not seen. So you have to be like Joshua in this moment for whatever you believe in God for, your healing, your relationship, your marriage, whatever you believe, your family member to come to know God. You have got to be like Joshua and keep holding on. Keep having faith. Keep believing and keep yourself strong in God. Keep yourself strong in God. Joshua was a man who had strong resolve to follow God regardless. He said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And there may be even some of you right now, you're wavering on your faith because the promise hasn't come through yet. You're wavering on your faith because you don't feel as if God has done this thing for you yet. But I want to encourage you to continue to hold on, continue to have faith, continue to believe, and continue to pray. One of the things I love about Joshua is that he was a man of prayer. He was a man who believe God. And so even when every obstacle that can be against you is against you right now, can you still believe God for your breakthrough? Can you still believe God for your promise? Can you still believe that God is going to come through on your behalf and bless you with the promise that he gave to you 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Understand that our God is not limited by time. And so while you're looking at a timeline, you're looking at a time span, you're saying, well, it hasn't happened in this amount of time, it's not going to happen. Just because it hasn't happened in your time doesn't mean that God isn't going to yet do that thing. The Bible says he will perfect those things concerning you. And so I want to encourage you on today, you all, to continue to believe God, to continue to have faith, and continue to know that he is going to work things out for you. Don't be distracted by what you see. Don't be discouraged by what you see. Don't even be distracted by what you hear or what people are saying about you. Put your eyes on the Lord and know that at the right time, and guys, he's going to make everything concerning you beautiful and perfect. Well, that's all I have for you guys on today. That is my little word that I have for you guys. If you haven't done so, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment, just even commenting below about what are you believing God for and how you're believing in faith that he's going to come through for you. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe. And you guys, it's always the shares that help so much with this channel. So make sure you give it a share as well. I love you guys and be encouraged in the Lord. You can also connect with me at all the links below. Love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon.